All right, guys. So if you would please, open up your lab notebooks. Fresh new page. Yeah, but the assessment is going to take about 20 minutes. So we don't need.
You keep upping the time that it's going to take me to take this. Now I know it's going to take me at least 40 minutes to take this one. You should have done that. I haven't done
It's fine. Hey, I have a picture of his license. You want to see?
Also 4 years ago.
Yeah, he just wants to because he's a competitor. Obviously, since
All right. Gentlemen, I'm drawing. I would like you to draw also. I am drawing. I would like you to draw also.
I'm just drawing.
Is that a high speed train?
No. This truck is moving. It's not. We're not doing a lab, so it doesn't. Some fresh new page.
Okay.
So this truck is moving. This car is stationary. Okay.
They're going to crash.
This truck is going to run into this car.
That's so exciting.
Okay.
You're good at drawing charges.
Oh, when did you
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to use your instinct, to use your intuition to compare the two forces.
My intuition's
Okay, we're going to compare the force that the truck exerts on the car to the force that the car exerts on the truck.
Whoa, are they crashing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Yeah, the truck, which is much more massive and moving fast, is going to plow into the car.
Yeah, I'm with George.
But we're trying to figure out all the forces.
How do the forces compare?
It's one in
There is a dumb equal. All right, to make it easy, I'm going to give you multiple choice.
Yeah. Multiple choice. Secret answer C.
A,
No.
somehow the forces are equal. B, the car exerts more force on the truck than the truck does on the car. C, the truck exerts more force on the car than the car exerts back on the truck. Or D, the car actually doesn't exert any force, it just gets in the way of the truck.
Brendan, which one did you
Is it
restate?
Harvey?
No.
Oh.
You mind restating, Brendan, really quickly? Which one in Newton's laws is it? How fast?
I think it's the truck.
The car's the unbalanced force.
Good job. Yeah, no.
Whatever you said.
One thing I know is I'll give you 2 gold blue.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
So,
Cold.
I want to know, as these two things interact, okay, is the force that the truck exerts on the car equal to the force that the car exerts back on the truck? Are you signaling me in sign language? B, the force that the truck exerts is actually less than the force that the car exerts back on the truck. C, the force that the truck exerts is greater than the force that the car exerts back. Or D, the car isn't actually exerting any force, it just gets in the way of the truck, and that's why it gets run over.
A, C.
Do you understand the question?
Yeah.
No, if it was A, it wouldn't just stop, like the car would just stop and not move the car at all.
No, they're still, but they're equal force on both.
Said it was gonna be.
There's what?
Huh?
What did you say?
If it was equal force.
There's equal.
All right, hold on.
Oh, I
Let's-
just said I think it's A. That's
Let's go one at a time. All right, and let's see if we can reason it out. And if we can reason it out, we'll see if this makes any sense. Go ahead. What did you think?
Oh, you're talking to me.
Yes, I was 100% talking to you. Here, let me get the camera.
Oh my gosh.
I think that. Oh no, you don't need to do that. You really don't.
No, really, it's
You
okay.
really don't.
Ted, I'll give you a power nap to a lost parts cut.
All right, Brendan, nice and loud. Listening, please.
Okay, well,
Great shush.
Go ahead.
I feel like they would both exert equal force on each other.
Okay. Why do you think so?
Because, so, the car is the unbalanced force that's making the truck stop.
Does the truck stop?
No, well, okay, that's making the, eventually it slows down. Does it not, or does it keep going? Does it plow over the truck and keep going? Like what's the?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if a truck hits a car, what happens? It might stop.
They'll run into each other and then they'll come to a stop, no?
Okay, or maybe, that sounds okay.
Okay. So the car is the unbalanced force, so that's definitely forcing. So like the truck, the force that the truck applies on the car is the same. Because that's why they stop. Because the forces are balanced at the end. That's why it stops moving. That's why the truck doesn't like hit the car and just like bump over it and keep going. And I just threw my puzzle.
Okay. Would someone like to add to this? Because I'm not sure I was followed that.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Kayla would like to repeat it. Can I repeat it?
Yes, listening, gentlemen, ladies, listening, please.
So, well, the forces would have to be unbalanced because when the two cars hit, they like continue moving forward. It's not like they just stop.
Okay. So which force is
Eventually
greater?
they stop, yeah.
Which force is greater?
The force of the truck,
On the car
yeah,
is greater.
yeah.
And why do you think so?
Because like in a car crash, the car just doesn't like automatically stop. The cars like keep going.
Okay.
Wait. Isn't like hitting on car crashes, doesn't the person that like hits the car like have more damage usually?
Okay. She says, doesn't the person doing the hitting have more damage on their car? I don't know.
not always. Hey, can we use like a?
I don't usually like spend my.
Use a tree?
Yeah, can we use like, like it runs into a tree instead of running into another car? Because I think that's confusing people.
That's confusing people?
I think that's confusing me.
I think there's too much personal.
What?
We have an anecdotal evidence about cars hitting the trees. I think that definitely the car would have more force, or I mean the truck rather, would have more force and the car just wouldn't have any because it's stationary, it's not moving.
So no force by the car. Okay, so
Then how does the truck?
I feel like we're in a good place here.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
I feel like we're in a good place because
We're confused.
yes, actually. So, but it's not that you're confused. It's we have what's called cognitive dissonance. So we're not actually sure about something, which is a really great way to be. Okay. How could we figure this out? Like, how could we figure out
We could
Which is
test our
more?
theories.
we could what?
We could test our theories.
In the parking lot?
With the mouse.
I mean,
I was thinking more like with the toy cars, but
Right.
sure.
let me ask you this question.
Can we just use a tree instead?
What if we did something like this?
Car into a tree.
Okay, well, at least I can park my car.
Okay. What if we did something like this?
Whoa. Oh, I love this.
One more time.
What if we did this?
Happened before. I've seen
What's
this
that?
one happen before.
Have I what?
I've seen this one happen before. I saw like a truck plow into a semi truck.
Oh, gosh.
That's insane.
Yeah, but like
It was on the same
that
side.
semi-truck, got weight in it.
Flattened like a pancake.
Which one
Like the front was
exerts
flat.
more force now? Does the car exert more force on the truck? Does the truck not exert any force?
It depends on the weight of the car and the weight of the semi-truck.
Okay, but can we just use a tree?
We're going to assume.
We're not using a tree.
Just use a truck, man.
Like, it's just so much, like, we don't understand what the, like,
Is it more clear if it's a tree?
No.
if the car's hitting a tree, then it's better, because you know the tree's not moving.
It's actually not true. Actually,
Yeah.
Can you make the car orange? I was literally about to say.
TBH, when I'm in a car, but I'm also in a tree. So it's actually just me before to, because I can hear the same word.
I don't know if Steve has anything to do with it.
Yeah. Take back the
It's
years,
just
my
like right
tree.
the harder you throw a ball.
That's the way.
That's fair. That's like.
Yes, he's using trees.
Rammed into a tree because he's like trying to drive it.
My brother ran into a stop sign over the weekend.
All right. What do you think about this?
Same
Now-
car, same-
Now, if we think about this, now which exerts more force? Does the car hit the tree exert more force than the tree exerts back on the truck or the car?
Equal.
Why are they equal?
Because now you know the car is gonna run into the tree and it's gonna stop. It's gonna stop moving, it's gonna crash and it's gonna be.
Yeah, but
So now,
how do you know the force by the car and the truck is, or the
Old
car and the
knows
tree is
I don't
tree and the
from
car?
firsthand experience,
because
it
it's,
does.
then now the forces are balanced, no one's accelerating anymore, no one's moving. The tree is the unbalanced.
Go ahead.
Can't they not
Oh my gosh.
be equal because there's like the acceleration is changing, doesn't that make it unbalanced?
And we're talking about while they're colliding.
Yes.
What?
Simple.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I know for.
No, I love where your head's at. What?
The tree reciprocates the force that the car gives it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With more or less?
Same.
The
Push
same
back.
amount, which is why the.
That's
tree
why the
may-
car stopped.
How does it know?
The tree may
Oh,
dip.
God.
You
know, trees have a brain.
The tree was like,
They talk
stop,
to each
don't
other
do
on
it.
the phone.
Like for real, how does it know?
It's just.
Don't do it.
Object.
Lost our game.
Okay.
We don't. We're just assuming that they're real because it's physics.
But guess what? Assumptions do not work in physics.
Well, that's what physics is.
So let's think about it this way. Okay? We would have to have some way to either measure or visualize the force.
Oh, we're back to that.
Simulation.
So it's
Right?
not force.
What's that?
It's another force now.
Well,
Force map.
What are they called? The force finders.
You want a map? No.
what would happen if you put a spring on the front of this car?
It pushes it back.
Okay?
Oh yeah, it's a spring, that's what I'm saying.
If I put the spring on the front of the car, what's going to happen to the spring when it hits the car? Yeah,
It's going to collide with it and then spring the car back.
sure. While they're colliding, is the spring going to compress?
Are we insisting that this car is in neutral?
Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't matter either way.
Neutral or braking.
See, that's why I like the tree better because you know it's stationary.
Now,
You said that was not moving though.
if the car was moving faster before the collision, what would be true about the spring compression?
It's compressed more.
Does it make sense to you that if the car was moving faster, it would compress more?
Yes.
What if the car was
Why
more
not?
massive?
What? Repeat. More
What would, if the car was more massive?
Okay.
Like it's full of people instead?
Like there's more weight into it?
Well, weight is the force of the earth,
Mass.
but I haven't, yes.
Yeah.
Would it compress more?
Yes.
Okay, so then, could we use the compression of the spring as a way to understand how much force?
Yeah.
Does that seem reasonable for you? What if I took and I put an identical spring on the back of the truck.
They'll compress the same amount.
Will each of the springs compress?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
They'll compress.
And if I could visualize them, the one that feels more force would compress more.
They both compress the same.
I don't know if they would, that's the question.
Oh,
They do, they do.
They do,
That's what I say.
I think they do.
They do.
but then you're implying that the forces are equal.
Yeah,
They
that's
are.
what I'm saying the whole time. Let's just see who wins.
Let's just what?
Let's just try it.
Wait. Well, we're not gonna try it today,
Oh, well, then why don't
because we have to assess today.
Are you implying that
Let's
we're gonna
assess
try it
tomorrow.
another
Yeah,
day?
let's do it. Can we assess tomorrow?
I am implying that we are going to try it another